welcome back to the Ouachita News Show. I'm Allie Hilkema.
And I'm Lily Roddy. Thanks for tuning back in this week to hear what's new here on campus. This week looks like it'll be a busy one, with midterms in full swing and campus events almost every day.
To catch you up, on Monday, the men of Kappa Chi performed a serenade at each of the female dorms on campus, starting at 9:30 and lasting until 10:30. The club embraced the Halloween spirit and dressed up in costumes ranging from tigers to zombies, and I even saw a few Star Wars characters.
Well, if those costumes didn't scare you, on Monday, Perrin Scarin sure did. The freshman boy dorm, Perrin, hosted their annual haunted house in the dorm from 7 to 11 on Tuesday evening.
Speaking of scary things, flu season is right around the corner, but Ouachita is prepared by offering the flu vaccine right here on campus. Reporter Joshua Engel spoke with Nurse Molly about the expectations for this upcoming season.
This year's flu season is not far away, but the school's Department of Health Services is getting ready for it. Even though flu vaccines are given out, it doesn't mean that influenza is common right now. In fact, the virus usually doesn't hit its peak until January or February. However, the vaccine lasts for a full year, and so getting it earlier in the year is not actually harmful.
You want to go ahead just in case. Like last year, we didn't know that it was going to start in October, and it does take about 2 to 3 weeks for the flu shot to actually be fully effective after you get it.
The vaccine can prevent people from getting the flu, reducing the chances for it to spread to others in the community. This is especially important for those that either are more vulnerable to the virus or are often around people that are vulnerable.
Also on our campus, we are very volunteer-minded and we go out in the community. So I know the Elrod Center has different places they go and they minister to the elderly. So that would be a good reason to do that.
On college campuses, the vaccine is especially recommended. This is because of the highly social environment that students are in.
They're in dorm situations, they're in activities, they're in sporting activities, so they are around a whole lot of people and congregating. So if one person gets the flu, then it does spread fast.
As of current, only a small number of cases have been reported statewide. The Arkansas Department of Health reported case levels to be minimal this week, but things are guaranteed to get worse as the season progresses. With COVID-19, post-tune sickness, and now the flu, Ouachita has been dealing with a lot of sickness this semester. Students, faculty, and staff interested in getting themselves the flu vaccine should check their email for more information on how to get the shot. For Ouachita News, I'm Joshua Engel.
Thank you, Josh. It's great to be informed on the best way to take care of your health this fall. I'm grateful that fall is finally here, and you should be too, because that sweater weather we talk about so much is so close and yet so far. But continuing in that fall spirit, the men of Kappa Chi didn't stop the events this week at the Serenade. Today at the Evans Student Center, the club hosted their annual Pie a Guy fundraiser. Students can pay to launch a pie at a Kappa of their choosing to raise some money for the club's philanthropy and events. This year's event is especially fall themed because we have been told that the pies will be pumpkin flavored. In order to really embrace that pumpkin flavoring, we have to check in on what the weather's looking like this week here in Arkadelphia. Lexi Lunsford has that information for us.
Thank you, Allie. Let's take a look at the weather for this week on campus. As we approach the last week of October, Arkadelphia is still pretending like it's summertime, with highs still in the 80s during the week. There will, however, be a few evenings later this week with lows that are in the 50s, so that's something that we can all look forward to. As we look to later into the week, we are expecting a few heavy thunderstorms coming in tomorrow and hanging around through Saturday. This will make for quite a wet, warm, and humid end of the week for twerp festivities, so make sure to grab your umbrella. Moving on to today's forecast. There is a high of 84 degrees and a low of 66 degrees to make for a beautiful day on campus. It is a partly cloudy day, but there is still enough sun to go around for everyone to enjoy before the rain comes in tomorrow. As we look past the weekend and into early next week, we can all start to get excited for finally seeing some fall temperatures, as Monday has a high of 50 and a low of 42. There will be rain on and off on Monday, so it could make for a dreary Monday of walking to class. Looking at Tuesday, Halloween Day, we will have a high of 57 and a low of 36, which makes for the perfect temperature for trick-or-treating. Although there will still be a few rain showers throughout the day, but don't let that rain scare you. Showers should be over by the evening. That's all we have for you today. Have a great rest of the week, Tigers. Predictions are provided by AccuWeather. Back to the desk.
Thanks for the update, Lexi. Well, no matter how the weather actually turns out, we can have faith that the twerp events this weekend will happen. Kicking off the twerp calendar is the women of Tri-Chi this Thursday with their 80s themed dance starting at 10 in the Tiger Den. Then, on Friday, we have the women of Gamma Phi hosting their annual Angels in the Outfield themed dance at 7 in the Tiger Den. And finally, on Saturday night, the women of Chi Mu will be hosting the masquerade-themed twerp, where you and your friends can break out those old suits and prom dresses to dance the night away.
Well, while some students are dancing, others will be with Ouachita's Rec Life on their pumpkin carving campout trip this weekend. The trip will be from Friday to Saturday and will consist of a camping trip to the Eubanks Lake with s'mores, games, and, of course, pumpkin carving. But don't be sad if you miss out on this opportunity. Rec Life will be taking a ski trip in January of 2024 to Colorado. The group will get to spend a few days on the slopes, shopping, and touring a ghost town in the area. For more information on that trip, reach out to any Rec Life staff member.
While recreational life here on campus is booming, the organizations here on campus are also on the rise. A group of Ouachita students partnering with the Elrod Center and Operation Christmas Child to bring kids across the world a Christmas gift filled with all the necessities they would need. This special event will kick off next week with their booth in the Student Center. After they receive payment for all 50 boxes planned, the group will host a packing party for these gifts in the Walker Center the following week. Reach out to the Elrod Center to learn more or check your OBU email for more information.
I love seeing how students on campus can inspire change here and across the world. Ouachita has always been welcome to students requesting to start new clubs or committees. It truly is a blessing to see a project come to life. In other news, Ouachita had a unique opportunity to welcome the Arkansas State Legislature's Subcommittee on Higher Education along with representatives from school districts and universities across the state. Advocating for the professional, learning community projects, Ouachita's own Dr. Jeff Root was one of the presenters. Kaylin Clay reported the event.
The Arkansas State Legislature's Subcommittee on Higher Education is meeting right here in Walker Conference Center on Ouachita Baptist University's campus to hear from advocates for the professional learning communities from various school districts and universities.
This is where we need to go. Take this to Arkansas schools.
There are three main ideas of the Professional Learning Communities Project, PLC, which promote collaboration among educators to answer four main questions. What do we want our students to learn? How will we know if each student learns it? How will we respond when some students have not learned it? And how can we extend learning for students who already know it?
It's a focus on learning in a collaborative culture and focus on results, knowing that one person does not have all of the answers for all of the needs of every single student. So how does that look in collaboration? So making it an ongoing process, basically like it's an action research project, that you're bringing in the needs of the students, the evidence of the students, and you're focusing on their learning. And it's not I'm focusing on curriculum, but are the students understanding what I'm getting? And if they're not, then what do we need to do? And we have those conversations in collaboration. So what do we need to do in collaboration? And if I don't have the strategies to meet those needs, then it's a job-embedded professional development within those collaborative teams that we meet the needs of the students.
Dr. Missy Wally serves as the project manager for PLC with the goal to create alignment within the educational ecosystem.
As we started this with schools and districts, and it has grown. And what we've seen is we've hit other barriers, and as we hit barriers, we try to react to those barriers, such as we've started at schools and maybe the districts, there's an unintentional barrier at the district level. So then we started with the district and made sure that we implemented it at the district level, and then we see these unintentional barriers in higher ed. So how do we fold higher ed into that so that we've got an aligned system? Also, we've got school board, state level, so trying to make sure that we have every educational entity of the ecosystem aligned so that we're all moving in the same direction.
Dr. Wally explains that the impact of the PLC project in Arkansas is strong.
I think it's pretty impactful, and I'm not for sure people understand the impactfulness of this because we are the only state in the nation who has a state initiative that's working this way within a professional learning community, but also embedding and having those partnerships with higher ed, with our educational service cooperatives, with our education renewal zones, that we're bringing everybody to the table and we're aligning the work. And to have higher ed sit at that table today and talk about how we're not only just preparing teacher candidates for ed prep, but we're also preparing our principals and superintendents when they get into the school system to lead in the professional learning community.
Dr. Jeff Root, Ouachita Dean of the Schools of Humanities and Education, is pleased to have the opportunity to welcome legislators from across the state and present alongside representatives from school districts and universities across the state during this meeting.
We were very, very pleased when the State Department of Education asked if we would be interested in it. We immediately said yes, we would, and that developed this opportunity for the Higher Education Subcommittee from the state legislature to come to campus. And they came in great numbers. Actually, more of them came than we expected. So they came from all over the state, and we're very, very pleased that they drove to Arkadelphia to have the meeting with us today.
Well, this is certainly a historical event to take place here on Ouachita's campus with about a dozen members of the State House of Representatives and Senate present. For the Ouachita News Show, I'm Kaylin Clay. Back to the desk.
Well, thank you, Kaylin. Here at Ouachita, we value academics, but we can't forget about the athletic side of students. The intramural soccer season is coming to a close this week, but that doesn't mean that you won't get the chance to play another sport. The 2-week flag football tournament starts on Monday, and the winning teams of the men's and women's league will play Henderson's top team for the Battle of the Ravine intramural champion title at the end. Speaking of all things sports, let's hear from our sports reporter, Jay Brumsey, about how Ouachita has been doing athletically.
Hi, I'm Jay Brumsey, and welcome back to another Roy Rundown. In an exciting matchup, the 14th ranked Ouachita Tigers secured a late 31-24 victory over Arkansas Tech in the game that saw Kendall Givens set a new rushing touchdown record for the Tigers. Arkansas Tech took an early lead, but the contest evolved into a seesaw battle. Givens, with his 3 rushing touchdowns, played a pivotal role. His second touchdown on the day marked his 50th career rushing score, setting an Ouachita record. Congratulations, Kendall. Ouachita led at halftime, and a 30-yard field goal from Gabe Goodman extended their advantage. Tech made a comeback, but Ouachita's offense, led by Givens, sealed the victory. Defensively, the Tigers were strong, and Jax Miller secured the game's only takeaway with an interception. Also, congratulations to Coach Todd Knight, who notched his 150th victory at Ouachita in his 24th season. Ouachita is now gearing up for their next game against Southern Nazarene on October 26th in Bethany, Oklahoma, in what will be their second Thursday night game of the season. This game will be kicking off at 6 p.m. The Great American Conference has selected Ouachita's women's soccer defender Anne-Marie Thomas and goalkeeper Michelle Snow as 2 of the league's players of the week. The Tigers are currently 8-1-6 overall this season and 5-1-3 in GAC games, currently holding a 4-point lead for first place in the league standings with 3 games remaining in the regular season. Ouachita has already clinched a spot in the GAC tournament, which will be hosted by the regular season champions. The Tigers host Southern Nazarene on Wednesday at 3 p.m. and then welcome Oklahoma Baptist to town on Saturday at 11 a.m. The Ouachita women's tennis wrapped up the fall portion of the 2023-2024 schedule this past weekend in Russellville at the Great American Conference Fall Championship. The Tigers had 2 players with their respective single fights, both freshmen in Sadaroy Kodorova and Rusandra Tolescu. Congratulations to the both of you. Over on the men's side, men's tennis closed out the fall portion of the season with 5 winners over the weekend at the Great American Conference Fall Championship. The team brought home medals including a first-place finish in the singles flight and a first-place finish in doubles. Ouachita volleyball players Emily Adams, Leah Gardner, and Courtney Hansen swept the Great American Conference Player of the Week awards for their standout performances in the wins against Oklahoma Baptist and Southern Nazarene. Emily Adams won GAC Offensive Player of the Week for her dominant performance on the front row. Adams racked up a total of 31 kills last week
with a .370 hitting percentage. The sophomore ranked second in the GAC in kills per set with 4.43 and third in hitting percentage. Leah Gardner earned GAC Defensive Player of the Week award, her first career Player of the Week honors. Gardner was commanding at the net, putting back a total of 9 blocks in 2 matches, which was good for a fourth in the GAC. Courtney Hansen was named GAC Setter of the Week for the second time this season thanks to her GAC leading 85 assists last week, 52 of which came against Oklahoma Baptist. Hansen was the only setter in the conference with a double-digit assist per set with 12.14. It was a great week to be a Tiger, and they will be looking to keep up the success when they travel to Monticello, Arkansas, to take on the University of Arkansas Monticello on Thursday, October 26th. Lastly, congratulations to our women cross-country team. The Tigers placed second out of the 12 total teams at the championship meet, scoring 62 points. The top runner for the Tigers was Macy Cash, who finished 5th in the 5K race with a time of 18:12.7, just 2 seconds out of 3rd place. Cash's 5th place finish earned her first team All-GAC honors. The Tigers will now be prepping for NCAA regionals that will take place on Saturday, November 4th in Joplin, Missouri. Thank you for tuning in to another Roar Rundown. I'm Jay Brumsey. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jay. We appreciate all the research you do into all the various sports here on campus.
I agree. It's always fun to be in the know in the different Ouachita sports worlds. As a cross-country track team member, it's cool to see the hard work pay off for our student athletes on and off the field.
Well, we've caught you up on all the news this week, but now it's time to see what you thought about our question of the day.
Yes, we asked you all on our social medias what scares you. Let's see what some of you had to say. Benjamin Kelly says he's scared of spiders. Our own Kaylin Clay says snakes. And Lexi Lunsford says the dentist.
Well, I don't know about you, but the spooky season reminds me of my fear of heights.
Oh, yeah. And I personally cannot stand clowns.
Oh, yeah, no.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Ouachita News Show and to answer each question of the week. You just might see your responses pop up on the show.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ouachita News Show, so you never miss out on the latest and greatest Ouachita news. See you next time.